launch. We're going to announce two models today, O3 and O3 Mini.
OpenAI just made a huge announcement. OpenAI just announced that they're coming out with the new O3 model. Yeah, that's right. We just got access to O1 and they're already having O3 be announced. They totally skipped 2 and they have O3 be announced. Not just O3, but O3 Mini as well. And O3 and O3 Mini are like breaking all kinds of barriers already. Check it out.
So we see that on competition math benchmarks, just like competitive programming, we achieve very, very strong scores. So O3 gets about 96.7% accuracy versus an O1 performance of 83.3% on the AIM. Very hard feeder exam for the USA Mathematical Olympiad. There's another very tough benchmark, which is called GPQA Diamond. And this measures the model's performance on PhD level science questions. Here we get another state-of-the-art number, 87.7%, which is about 10% better than our O1 performance, which was at 78%. Just to put this in perspective, if you take an expert PhD, they typically get about 70% in kind of their field of strength here. In particular, I want to call out is Epic AI's Frontier Math benchmark. Now, you can see the scores look a lot lower than they did for the previous benchmarks we showed. And this is because this is considered today the toughest mathematical benchmark out there. This is a data set that consists of novel, unpublished, and also very hard.
These are extremely hard.
Yeah, very, very hard problems. Even Terence Tao says, it would take professional mathematicians hours or even days to solve one of these problems.
So I want to show one more hard example here. Now, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think is going on in this task?
Okay, so you take each of these yellow squares, you count the number of colored kind of squares there, and you create a border of that width.
That is exactly it, and that's much quicker than most people, so congratulations on that. What's interesting, though, is AI has not been able to get this problem thus far, and even though that we verified that a panel of humans could actually do it. Now, the unique part about ArcAGI is every task requires distinct skills. And what I mean by that is there won't be another task that you need to fill in the corners with blue squares. But we do that on purpose. And the reason why we do that is because we want to test the model's ability to learn new skills on the fly. We don't just want it to repeat what it's already memorized. That's the whole point here. Now, ArcAGI version 1 took 5 years to go from 0% to 5% with leading frontier models. However, today, I'm very excited to say that O3 has scored a new state-of-the-art score that we have verified.
As you see in that compilation, that O3 is breaking all kinds of records. Basically, it's super smart, and they say this about every new model for every new AI that they have. So ChatGPT says that about their new models, Google says that about their new models, Claude, and like Perplexity, and so on and so forth. Everybody's new model is groundbreaking and shattering everything. But this one seems pretty crazy too, because they had like programming competitions and they compared it against O1, and O1's already pretty good, but they're already showing how these models are doing like 70% as far as like, or the top 70 percentile for programming tasks, for competitive programming. They're like really good. And it's not just like, okay, like these things can program, they can do a decent job. They can do like really complex tasks and are beating out people who specialize in these complex tasks. I think the most like icing on top, the one that really solidified it, was the ARC Foundation, I guess. And they do like math problems that professional PhDs that are like in the field with like years of experience have trouble with these math problems. And they talked about how the ARC like institution, ChatGPT just destroyed their record as far as like how well it could do those type of math problems, as well as like they were saying that AI has problems with like reasoning with different, I guess, spatial things, like how they're talking about the squares and the dots and understanding like the correlation between that. AI does pretty bad with those type of things, but it broke those barriers as well. But not only that, they did also show the O1 mini model and show just how fast it was and just different tasks that it can do. Check it out.
Python script, it will launch a server locally with a UI that contains a text box, and then we can make coding requests in a text box, it will send the request to call O3 Mini API, and O3 Mini API will solve the task and return a piece of code, and it will then save the code locally on my desktop, and then open a terminal to execute the code automatically. So it's a
Very complicated.
pretty complicated task,
Yeah.
right? And it outputs like a big chunk of code. So if we copy the code and paste it to our server, and then we would like to launch this server.
So we should get a text box when you're launching it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh yeah, I see.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It seems to be launching something.
Okay.
Oh, great! We have a UI where we can enter some coding prompts. Let's try out a simple one, like print OpenAI and a random number. Submit. So it's sending the request to O3 Mini Medium, so it should be pretty fast, right? So on this
41.
terminal, yeah, 41. That's the magic number, right? So it saves the generated code to this like local script on the desktop and then print out OpenAI 41. Is there any other tasks you guys want to test it out?
I wonder if you could get it to get its own GPQA numbers.
That's a great ask, just as what I expected. We practiced a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me copy the code. And send it in the code UI. So in this task, we asked the model to evaluate O3 Mini with the low reasoning effort on this hard GPQA dataset. And the model needs to first download the raw file from this URL, and then it needs to basically figure out which part is a question, which part is the answer, or which part is the options, right? And then formulate all the questions, and then ask the model to answer it, and then parse the result, and then to grade it.
That's actually blazingly fast.
Yeah, and it's actually really fast because it's calling the O3 Mini with low reasoning effort. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
I guess two tasks are
Yeah.
really hard here.
Yeah, the long tail is often
Yeah.
the problem.
Go, go.
Yeah, GPQA is a hard data set.
Yes.
Yeah, it contains like maybe 196 easy problems and 2 really hard problems.
While we're waiting for this, do you want to show
Yeah.
what the request was again?
Oh, it actually returns the results.
Oh,
it's
great.
61.62%, right?
Amazing.
62%, right?
Cool,
With
cool.
a low reasoning effort model, it's actually pretty fast. Then full evaluation in a minute. And
Somehow very cool to like just ask a model to evaluate itself like
yeah,
this.
exactly, right? And if we just summarize what we just did, we asked the model to write a script to evaluate itself on this like hard GPQA data set from a UI, right? From this code generator and executor created by the model itself in the first place.
Next year, we're going to bring you on and you're going to have to ask the model to improve itself.
Yeah, let's definitely ask the model to improve it next time.
Maybe not. As you see in that example, they wrote like a script from Python to then test O1 Mini, and it came out with a result that O1 Mini created. So basically, O1 Mini wrote code to test itself out, then it tested itself and it gave you back the result, which is kind of scary. It's like not too far away from just saying, hey, can you just keep on improving yourself, and just keeps on like reproving yourself, like a recursion or some junk like that. It's just crazy, but it's scary what is going to happen, but but it's also kind of cool to see how fast and rapidly this is. Because we just had Gemini 2.0 just get released, and Gemini 2.0 is pretty good. O3 is coming, and they said they're probably going to be releasing this at the end of January or like February. So pretty close to like a month or a month and a half or two from away from an O3 model, a brand new model being released already. But that's not all that they talked about. They said that testing is now open. So if you want to test this out, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to apply to be a tester of the new O3 model. And it's going to be closing like the beginning of January. So if you want to go ahead and test out the O3 model before everybody else gets their hands on it and try to really like break it and try to really see how you can make it go off the rails, I think you should definitely check it out. But But I don't think we could really stop talking about this, or I don't think we can conclude this if we don't talk about like maybe the potential issues, not with necessarily with the O3 model, but maybe ChatGPT and OpenAI as a whole, because I really do like ChatGPT. I do like OpenAI, but I think their rollouts are like really good. I like how they were shipping stuff every day, basically from, you know, day 1 to day 12, besides day 12, of course, because they didn't ship anything. But I like that they were shipping. And I think they need to keep that in mind, that they should just ship stuff. And I think if it's not ready to be shipped, I don't think we should talk about it, because I think we saw with Sora, like the anticipation of Sora was so great that like once Sora was out, first off, it crashed everything, which kind of put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But not only that, Google's VO or Veo model came out and pretty much like put Sora to shame for the most part. And like your competition kind of had a leg up because they saw certain things, they saw certain previews of what you had in store, so they could even beat that. But Veo didn't get released until they were ready to release it, and like ready to release it basically to the public, because you can already sign up for the wait list. Same thing with Gemini 2.0. I didn't really hear too much talks about Gemini 2.0 coming out, but you know Google was working on something. Like, you know Claude's working on something. Same thing with ChatGPT. You know it was working on something, but the announcements, like from announcements to release or to like public access, usually isn't too long. And I think that's one of the problems with OpenAI right now. It's just that the release is too long, but they're getting better. They're shipping everything from like day 1 to like 11, basically. Even if these are old features, they were at least being released to the public. As well as with O3, it's coming out in like a month or 2, so it's not even like bad. I just think they need to keep that trend of shipping once it's ready to be released, or once it's ready to be tested out, which is pretty much what O3 is doing right now. But because I'm curious how, with Google like really close to them, like really on their like tail, like how close this competition really is. Like it seems like as soon as one person announces something, even in the video generation space, another video generator is like right behind it doing similar things or doing the same thing but better, which is kind of like, whoa, like it's really like a neck and neck competition. Like everybody's catching up really fast at this point in time. But tell me what you think. Are you excited about the new O3 model, and are you excited that it's going to shatter Mini and that you'll be able to compete with O1 Mini and that like it'll be faster and cheaper for everybody? Or are you a little bit scared of the pace that everything's going, where you saw video generations like a year ago, you see video generations now? We was on O1 just got released, now we're on O3. We skipped the whole number. With that being said, if you want to keep up to date with AI news and tips and tools, I think you should definitely like and subscribe. With that being said, your boy Dex9Dexter out.